Education officials turn to retirees. Tonight on our news.
20 retired teachers re-engaged to fill gap within the public education system. I'm Delvado Emmanuel. The details just ahead.
Also, more than a week after an infant was found abandoned in a vehicle, doctors say he remains under medical care and is doing well. This as police prepare charges. Plus, the courts turn to technology to reduce backlogs with training already underway. We get a first look at how new transcription technology could boost efficiency. Then in our news at 7:30, the Grander View is back tonight.
An increase in volunteers and exceeding their replanting goals. Waterkeepers Bahamas reporting excellent stats for 2025.
Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kendino Knowles. Teacher shortages continue to strain public schools, prompting the Ministry of Education to turn to retired educators as a temporary fix. Officials say about 20 former teachers have been re-engaged, while the hiring process for new and permanent staff continues. Delvado Emmanuel gets us started tonight.
Director of Education Dominique McCartney Russell addressing the issue while speaking with reporters on the sidelines of the Ministry of Education's Public Schools Scholar Ceremony.
We had 20 of them on the list this year, and so we would have engaged 20 retired teachers, and we have engaged other retired teachers in our supply teacher program.
She describes these retired teachers' re-engagements as strategy to prevent disruptions. They include generalists and specialists where shortage are most acute.
Sometimes the teacher who may be available may not necessarily be the discipline that we need. Right now we need language arts teachers, we need a few math teachers, physical education teachers, performing arts teachers, and so there are some needs that are, more urgent than others. I agree that the process is a long one in terms of the bureaucracy in hiring teachers, but we ask our potential hirees to be patient with us.
McCartney Russell acknowledges the frustration for new teachers awaiting appointment, but says the process involves multi-layers.
It includes vetting, and sometimes the vetting comes back good, sometimes it doesn't come back, the way we expect. And so the process is a long one. We have a bureaucracy, and so we have to get the credentials right. We have to make sure that the vetting is done. Then that goes to the public service, and then the appointment letters. And before that, we have to get financial clearance.
Now, President of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, Belinda Wilson, says while she supports the decision to re-engage retired teachers, she remains an advocate to hire new teachers.
Those who've completed the University of the Bahamas and have been the recipients of government scholarships or grants to be hired first. To my knowledge, most of those teachers who have been waiting since last year have been posted, one as recently as yesterday.
Reporting for our news, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Officials at Princess Margaret Hospital say the 5-day-old baby boy found alive in the trunk of a car in Pinewood Gardens is stable and doing well. The update comes more than a week after the infant was discovered, December 27th, wrapped in a blanket and placed inside a box in the trunk of a parked vehicle. Police have since confirmed that charges are expected against the child's parents as the investigation continues. Here's Hospital Administrator Jessica Cartwright.
The infant that you referenced, that infant at this time is stable and is doing well.
A 23-year-old man has been denied bail after police say a domestic argument turned violent on New Year's Eve, leaving 2 people shot in Pinewood Gardens. Nari Forbes appeared in court Tuesday accused of attempted murder after allegedly shooting his mother's boyfriend and a 15-year-old girl during an incident at his home on New Year's Eve. Forbes is also charged with possession of a firearm to endanger life. The matter has been adjourned to May 7th as prosecutors prepare voluntary bill of indictment papers. And the judiciary moving to further modernize court operations, introducing a new digital transcription program aimed at speeding up how quickly court records are produced. The software, called MaxScribe, will work alongside the existing speech-to-text system that has already cut transcript delays across the legal system. And with training now underway, our Sasha Lightborn got an inside look at how the new technology is expected to improve efficiency.
Already in countries like the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and Jamaica, MaxScribe is changing the way court transcribing is done. Currently, courts in the Bahamas already have a transcribing system known as FTR, or For the Record, and MaxScribe will now enhance that process by making transcripts available in real time. But it won't replace court stenographers, according to lead trainer for MaxScribe, Pam Shazinski.
It doesn't replace anything or anybody, but we're here to assist the stenographers and the reporters and the judicial system, really, in making the transcripts. We find that there is, an increase in judicial matters that are coming across the courts. And all the courts are recognizing that they need some type of assistance to get these transcripts done quicker. That's what our software does.
So how does it all work? The judiciary's transcription supervisor, Darren E. Smith, explains.
We take that recording, we upload it to MaxScribe, and MaxScribe produces an editable text that we review and produce a transcript at the end of the day.
See, like I know that's supposed to be Hope Strong.
Correct.
So you would go back
I would go.
that. Got it.
Madam Justice Hope Strong.
In the Commonwealth.
Bahamas, Supreme Court, Family Division, action number 00494 of 2024.
So it's only a matter of just putting it where you need to go and editing.
The system has been in test mode for 2 months in the family courts, and the hope is to have full implementation completed by the end of the first quarter throughout all sectors of the judiciary. And here's the benefit.
When court reporters go to court, we come out of court and we edit the text that we would have sat there and write all day. Now we don't have to go to court. We could just take the audio, upload it into the system, get a text, and be able to edit it just like a court reporter would, but without the time.
And one of the things I was most curious about was the system's ability to pick up the Bahamian accent. Smith answered that question this way.
With using the system, I found that our accents, it doesn't matter. When we get in court, we speak with some kind of Queen's English. So it's easy. It picks up.
Reporting for our news, I'm Sasha Lightborn.
All right, thanks so much for that, Sasha. And we are learning about a traffic fatality over the weekend. Police just today releasing details of that incident. We'll have that coming up in our news at 7:30. But for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson, he's standing by in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Candino, and a good Tuesday evening, everybody. Another beautiful evening setting up for us on the outdoors. 74 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds on the outside. Your winds out of the east at 9 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is a comfortable 73. Temperatures right now around the Family Islands. We are settling into low to mid 70s in the northern Bahamas, 71 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, 73 in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. String of 74s, Alistown, Bimini, Great Harbor Key, the Berry Islands here in the capital, 75s. Nicholstown, North Andros, Governor's Harbor, that's in central Eleuthera. Into the central Bahamas, 77 in Kemps Bay, South Andros, 76 Black Point, Exuma, and in Deadman's Key, Long Island. 74s again in Georgetown, Exuma, and Port Nelson, Rum Key. 72 in Arthurstown, Cat Island, Coburn Townsend, Salvador, 73. And into the southeast Bahamas, mid to upper 70s there with 77s. Duncantown, Ragged Island, Providenciales, Turks and Caicos Islands, Colonel Hill, Crooked Island, Delectable Bay, Acklands, and Abrahams Bay, Mayaguana, all 76s. And Matthewtown, deep south, you are the warm spot right now at 78 degrees. Satellite radar composite, we have a couple of boundaries across us, sparking a few isolated showers, mainly across the extreme northern Bahamas. And then we have another boundary that is remnants of a front actually, hanging out near the southeast and central Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands as well. You guys saw some showers. Both boundaries will eventually dissipate overnight through tomorrow. High pressure still remains in charge, and that high is not going anywhere. Look like it's going to be here for the remainder of the week. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, VJ Edgecombe was clutch once again for the Sixers, but if we're being honest here amongst friends, he should always be taking the last shot.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button.
And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
NFL season is back, and Cable Bahamas is bringing the action straight to you.
Okay, Zai, let I take it from here. This season, Cable Bahamas is the Bahamas' #1 NFL provider. More games than ever before. With any live fiber infinite bundle, Trio or Trio Plus, you unlock Thursday Night Football, Sunday Ticket in 4K, and every highlight that matters. Just opt in to SportsX for $5 a month.
And don't miss a touchdown. Sign up now.
Watch Thursday Night Football exclusively with Rev and the Live Fiber on channel 747 and 748.
It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seatbelts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard Cum of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, reminding you that road safety is no accident.
Welcome to our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. Whenever the Philadelphia 76ers find themselves in one-score games, BJ Edgecombe finds a way to deliver a clutch performance. He just needed the refs to do their job in that final possession, and this is a completely different league. Edgecombe finished with 17 points, 8 rebounds, and a career-high 9 assists, but the 76ers win streak ended at 3 with a 125-124 loss to the Denver Nuggets last night at the Xfinity Mobile Arena in Philly. After going scoreless in the first half, Edgecombe made his biggest impact when the game was on the line. He knocked down a clutch 3 late in regulation to help force overtime and keep the Sixers alive. There was also the assist to Tyrese Maxey for the game-tying score, and Edgecombe's dunk late in overtime was the last lead for the Sixers. In college hoops, Coach Yo and Ole Miss nearly took down the second-ranked team in the nation, while Frederick King's dominance up front has Murray State streaking. January just started, and we have SEC thrillers already. Ole Miss cut a deficit from 19 points to just 3 in the fourth quarter and nearly completed an improbable rally, but the second-ranked Texas Longhorns held on for a 67-64 win. King continued his impactful season for Murray State, keeping his name at the top of the Racer stat sheet during their 9-game win streak. He finished with 11 points and 8 rebounds in a win over Bradley to follow up his New Year's Day performance, where he went for 18 points and a career-high 16 boards. If he's not the busiest kid on the planet, he's pretty close. Lennox Lockhart is back on the karting circuit in Spain and is faced with one of the biggest opportunities of his young career. Lockhart is set to represent the Bahamas in his first international race of the season in Campillos, Malaga, Spain, on a championship-level track fully approved by the governing bodies both for motorsports and karting. That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as the UN Security Council meets urgently. Secretary General Antonio Guterres warns of regional instability after U.S. strikes in Venezuela. This as opposition leader and Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado says she'll return home soon following the U.S. capture of President Nicolas Maduro. And the CDC removes universal recommendations for several childhood vaccines, sparking concern from doctors and pediatric groups. The story when our news returns.
It's more than a podcast. It's a movement. This is Breaking the Silence with Junior Clovis, where conversations we avoid finally have a place to breathe. Every story, every struggle, every breakthrough is brought to light, unfiltered and unspoken until now. Join us this Sunday at 2 p.m. as we confront the topics that matter, share real experiences, and change the conversation around mental health together. Watch, listen, break the silence.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having Business in a Box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
Conflict doesn't have to end in chaos. Before it escalates, take a breath. Step back. Choose peace. Listen to understand. Respectful conversations lead to real solutions. I am Sergeant 3599 Johnson of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, urging you, let's talk it out, not fight it out.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. The United Nations Security Council held an emergency meeting Monday to address recent U.S. military strikes in Venezuela and the capture of President Nicolas Maduro. In a statement read by a UN official, Secretary General Antonio Guterres said he is deeply concerned about escalating instability, the regional impact, and the precedent such actions could set. The UN says Venezuela has called the U.S. operation a violation of the UN Charter. Guterres urged dialogue inside Venezuela and called on the international community to act in the interest of peace. Colombia's foreign minister says the country's military must defend its territory and sovereignty if a hypothetical U.S. invasion were to occur. Rosa Villavicencio made the comments Tuesday after U.S. President Donald Trump threatened Colombia with military action similar to that operation in Venezuela. Now, Villavicencio said under international law, states have the right to legitimate self-defense, and Colombia's armed forces would be required to act. Meanwhile, Venezuelan opposition leader and Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado says she plans to return home as soon as possible following the capture of Maduro. Machado made the comments in an interview with Fox News, her first since the U.S. launched those strikes in Venezuela over the weekend. The Norwegian Nobel Committee awarded Machado the Peace Prize for her stand against what it called a dictatorship. She called the U.S. actions a huge step.
January 3rd will go down in history as the day justice defeated a tyranny. It's a milestone, and it's not only huge for the Venezuelan people and our future, I think it's a huge step for humanity, for freedom and human dignity.
And the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says it is changing the U.S. childhood immunization schedule, removing universal recommendations for several vaccines and shifting to a model that includes shared decision-making between parents and doctors. The CDC says the move is meant to align with pair nations following a directive from President Trump and Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. ABC News reports health officials say vaccine insurance coverage will not change, but doctors and medical groups, including the American Academy of Pediatrics, pushing back, warning the changes undermine scientific process and transparency.
Meningitis is an awful illness, and it not only can kill, but in those who survive can lead to brain damage. And our vaccines are highly effective in preventing that and also preventing transmission of it. And by moving it to shared clinical decision making, et cetera, people may not understand what they need to do. And we may see drops in coverage and resurgences of some of these diseases. Some of the most respected organizations, such as the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Academy of Family Physicians, are very much against what has just been done. And I think that, to me, will decrease trust, not increase it.
Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was January 6th. Then in our news at 7:30, business owners at Port Lucaya Marketplace in Grand Bahama say high rents are threatening their survival as management reportedly denies a request for temporary relief. But first, the Cuban doctor issue back on the table as talks resume amid U.S. concerns over the country's labor export program. We'll tell you when officials are aiming for a resolution when our news returns.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest-running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held world leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to the environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. 9 seasons strong, and we're just getting started. This is On the Record.
Too many suffer in silence, but silence only protects the abuser. Your feelings are real. Your safety matters. It's time to break the silence. If someone is hurting you, speak up. We will listen. We will help. I am Police Constable 4286 Sinead Douglas of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Let us build safer communities together.
This day in Bahamian history, in 1932, the Daily Tribune reported on the reprieve of then British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, who came to New Providence. Weeks before, Churchill had an accident while in New York on a speaking tour. The paper reported he had come to Nassau to recover his health and strength. 8 years later, in 1940, James Catlin was born in Nassau. Catlin was a writer, actor, producer, and director. Hailed as a Bahamian cultural legend, icon, and warrior, Catlin passed away on August 18, 2018. He was 78 years old. And in 2003, Sir Gerald Christopher Cash, lawyer, politician, former member of Parliament, and former Governor General, died in Nassau. Cash, who suffered a stroke 6 days prior to his death, was 85. His legal and political career spanned almost 50 years, culminating in his service as Governor General from 1979 to 1986. 10 years later, Flamingo Gardens Primary School was renamed in his honor. Atlantis Resort named a multi-category winner on the world stage, securing 4 top honors at the 2025 World Travel Awards Grand Final Gala. It was held recently in the Kingdom of Bahrain. The resort was recognized as world's leading conference hotel, Caribbean's leading conference and entertainment venue, and the Bahamas' leading resort. In a statement, The resort said the accolades highlight Atlantis' continued leadership in the industry, in hospitality meetings and events and world-class entertainment. The 2025 World Travel Awards brought together industry leaders, decision makers, and influencers from all across global tourism. Now, winners are selected through a year-long voting process open to both travel industry professionals and the general public, with the highest voted nominee taking home each award. Atlantis Managing Director Audrey Oswell said the recognition in key categories reflects the extraordinary service, unique programming, and meaningful guest experiences delivered daily by her team. All right, if you want to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. That's going to do it for us in News at 7, though. Joining us now, Jerome Sawyer in with the latest headlines. Jerome, that story just took me back to our broadcast at Atlantis.
Our 25-year anniversary. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And good for Atlantis. For me, it's still one of my favorite hotels. I still get that, that excitement when I walk in the doors and see all the great architecture, and it's something about it that I just love. So
it's Atlantis. And congratulations to them.
One word, Atlantis, definitely. So kudos to them. Well, folks, here's a look at your latest headlines. Coming up on our news tonight, a tenant-renter dispute in the Lucayan Marketplace in Grand Bahama. No business is to blame. We've got the full story tonight. A promise to keep the caseload up to date a year after he took office. Has the Court of Appeals president been able to keep his word? Then, in our Grander View series,
an increase in volunteers and exceeding their replanting goals. Waterkeepers Bahamas reporting excellent stats for 2025.
And later, marching orders. Police given some instructions from on high at their annual cathedral gathering this weekend. Our news live at 7:30 starts in a moment.
Candino Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the R News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
Tired of weak, over-the-counter bug sprays? Step up your pest control game with professional-grade products from the Struckham Shop. From powerful insecticides to trusted gel baits and termiticides, we supply the same products used by Struckham Commercial Pest Services, now available for DIY homeowners and small pest control pros. Whether you're protecting your home or building your business, get the edge with the Struckham Shop.
It's Christmas, come again. Time for color, family and friends. Red and green, the perfect pair. For a season so sincere. Baby Jesus in a manger. Loved ones who once were perfect strangers. At the famed place, coloring supreme. Let us bring to life your Christmas dreams.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.
Whether you're battling a chronic condition or offsetting a new injury, Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now.
Go to doctors.
3 advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, and Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy to occupational therapy and speech and language pathology, our team approach is all about rebuilding together. For a full list of services, visit doctorshosp.com/rehabilitation. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now, isn't it?
Welcome to our news live at 7:30. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jerome Sawyer in for Natalia Hall tonight. Economic hard times pitting vendors at the Lucayan Marketplace against the management group over the cost of rent. We'll get to that in a bit. But first, police releasing details of a deadly accident over the weekend. Although the victim died Saturday, police are now only releasing details of this tragedy. And here's what we know from their reporting.
The accident happened on Saturday, January 3rd, claiming the life of a 64-year-old male pedestrian. It was just before 4 p.m. when officers responded to reports of a collision on Bahama Games Boulevard. When they arrived, they say they found an unresponsive man in the roadway with serious injuries to his upper body. A black Nissan Juke was discovered parked on the eastern side of the street with damage to the front right area. Now, emergency medical services rushed the victim, identified by family, to hospital. Unfortunately, he passed away later that evening around 8 o'clock. Moving now to a focus on the administration of justice and nagging case backlogs. Has a high court judge been able to deliver on a promise at his appointment just a year ago? Court of Appeals Justice Milton Evans said publicly he was not tolerating casual adjournments or unnecessary delays. It was a signal to publicly push swift justice, maintaining what he called a no-case backlog standard. Well, it's been a year, and has the country's highest court lived up to that expectation? We caught up with the appeals court president outside Government House recently, where he answered that question.
We're still on that track, but of course it's not easy. So it means that you have to work hard, but because of the importance of the matters, we can't rush them. And we need to take our time and make sure that they're done properly. And there's also a large number of matters that are coming, but we still work assiduously to try our best to make sure that we get them out in the proper time. Because what they say, justice delayed is justice denied, and so we work hard at that, and we have been doing a good job at keeping it current.
Well, join RTV next Wednesday, January 14th, for live coverage of the official opening of the legal year. Updating another story from last year now, this one involving threats by U.S. officials to revoke visas for Bahamian government officials and their relatives if the labor export program from Cuba continued, labeled by Americans as forced labor. Discussions with U.S. Embassy officials continue, says the Health Minister, Dr. Michael Darville. Within the workforce, there are 3 Cuban nurses and 3 doctors. They include 2 ophthalmologists and 1 optometrist. There are also X-ray technicians, physiotherapists, and biomedical specialists. On the sidelines of a PHA press conference this week, the Health Minister said he hopes those talks conclude by the end of the month.
We are in discussions with the American government, particularly the embassy here in New Providence, in collaboration with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That is moving quite well, and that should be finalized hopefully by the end of this month.
With the Cubans out, who's filling the gaps? Dr. Darville confirming replacement nurses from Africa.
I must admit that the last batch of Ghanaian nurses that came into the country, they were orientated. Many are at the Princess Margaret Hospital. My last report, it was indicated that they are adjusting quite well. We're getting ready to recruit a second batch of nurses from Africa, which seems to be a great match for us. And our last graduating class from the PHA Academy, we brought on some additional trained clinical nurses. And then, of course, we have programs with Tarif College in Grand Bahama and Bahamas Baptist University College, where we're doing some additional training.
Another familiar face emerging as we roll into an election year. Former Progressive Liberal Party Senator Robin Lyons says she's hearing what she describes as a call to service and may be ready to answer. To date, the PLP has ratified 14 candidates, the Free National Movement 28, and the Coalition of Independents has 35 candidates on their slate. While speaking with reporters today, Lyons stopped short of confirming a constituency, but said this.
I certainly might. I think service is a calling. And so for me, I've always answered the call of persons who have called me to service. And so if the party makes a call, if the constituency, community makes a call, I do believe in 2026 I'll answer. Contrary to popular belief, I've never applied to run as a member of parliament or to be considered as a candidate in any of the elections prior. But I think this time I hear a call and I'm willing.
All right, well, according to party sources, Lyons could be the PLP standard bearer for Bamboo Town, a seat currently held by House Speaker Patricia DeVoe. The FNM ratified party chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands for that area, while outspoken activist Maria Daxon is on the COI's ticket. Lyons says beyond party politics, her possible return would be about women in leadership.
Women represent a different type of leadership, a leadership that I think is not only necessary and needed in this moment, but a leadership that is in demand. And so I think it's important for women who are willing to be and able to step forward in service. That's what it's about, you know. It's about not self-aggrandizement, but it's about finding problems that we can solve within this country. And like I say, women in leadership are stepping forward. I myself are one of those women, and I think that we just need to get out there and get the work done.
To Grand Bahama now, in that story we teased at the top, a public dispute is brewing between vendors and business owners in the Lucayan marketplace and their landlords. Several vendors say they are struggling to remain open in the face of sluggish sales. They're asking for the marketplace management to come down on the rent, but management isn't budging. Our Talia Hall picks up the story from here.
It's no secret the Port Lucayan marketplace on Grand Bahama has faced years of challenges, largely following the decline of surrounding developments, including the Grand Lucayan Resort. As activity slowed, the marketplace took a hit. Those challenges resurfaced over the weekend during a Facebook Live led by President of the newly formed Port Lucayan Marketplace Association and longtime Grand Bahama businessman Navar Smith. Smith says many business owners, particularly straw vendors, are struggling to meet basic overhead costs due to inconsistent business and low foot traffic. According to Smith, vendors formally approached marketplace management requesting temporary concessions, including a reduction in rent for a 3 to 6 month period until business conditions improve. That request, he says, was declined.
That is extremely hard for us to accept as business owners in a place where there's little to no traffic on a consistent basis, and everybody around the country knows this. This isn't a new matter.
In search of relief, Smith says business owners also raised their concerns with the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce and the Grand Bahama Port Authority. He notes the Port Authority did respond by granting incentives related to business license fees. Now in December 2025, Our News reported that business among straw vendors was beginning to pick up, but Smith cautions that those improvements have not been consistent.
For me to stand there and suggest that there's not a silver lining here and there would not be very ethical. But what I could say to you is nowhere near what it needs to be right now for the vast majority of us.
Smith does acknowledge that some restaurants within the marketplace are performing better than other businesses.
Those of us in the space of clothing, jewelry, souvenirs, it's nowhere close to what it needs to be.
He claims despite repeated requests over the past 6 months, efforts to secure a formal meeting with the owner of the Port Lucayan marketplace have been unsuccessful. Meantime, vendors say they're left relying on hearsay, including talks of possible plans for the marina, which remains in a state of disrepair.
Let's take a honest and a fair look at the level of rent that's being charged for some of us out here, in light of the poor infrastructure and the poor traffic that's flowing.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Natalia Hall.
Now, we did reach out to the management of the Port Lucayan marketplace for a response. However, we were informed that management has chosen not to comment. Well, it's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center tonight. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Jerome, and a happy Tuesday evening, everybody. Beautiful night outside if you plan on having any outdoor activity. 74 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds. Your winds are out of the east at 9 miles per hour. Your feels-like temperature hanging out in the low 70s. 73 is what it feels like on the outside. Satellite radar composite. Stationary trough near the northwest Bahamas. Actually, it's between Grand Bahama and the east coast of Florida, sparking a few showers up there. Most of the activity will continue to pull off towards the north and east. We also have another boundary moving through the central and southeast Bahamas. That sparked a few showers across the Turks and Caicos Islands, as well as portions of the central and southeast Bahamas. Both boundaries will eventually dissipate. High pressure will remain in charge. High pressure is going to stay with us throughout the remainder of the week. So we're looking for some warmer temperatures and some pleasant conditions. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast still to come.
And still to come on our news tonight, our Megan Shepherd is up with our weekly series, A Grander View, and a look at how an environmental group is hoping to keep the island's wetlands afloat. And then later, police kick off their year with a charge to remember who they are and what they're here to do. That's coming up when our news returns.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
NFL season is back, and Cable Bahamas is bringing the action straight to you.
Okay, Zai, let I take it from here. This season, Cable Bahamas is the Bahamas' #1 NFL provider. More games than ever before. With any live fiber infinite bundle, Trio or Trio Plus, you unlock Thursday Night Football, Sunday Ticket in 4K, and every highlight that matters. Just opt in the Sports X for $5 a month.
And don't miss a touchdown. Sign up now.
Watch Thursday Night Football exclusively with Rev and the Live Fiber on channel 747 and 748.
It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seatbelts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard Cum of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, reminding you that road safety is no accident.
And back to Grand Bahama now and the continuation of our weekly series, The Grander View. Tonight, our Megan Shepherd takes a look at the work of Waterkeepers Bahamas after a record-breaking year. Their mission, conservation and restoration.
When we first saw the site, it was bare, dry, really broken down.
Into Waterkeepers Bahamas, the organization dedicated to environmental conservation and restoration. And it's also committed to safeguarding the country's water resources. Special Projects Coordinator Siobhan Hunt says back in 2022, they began restoration efforts at Dover Sound, a mangrove habitat on the northern side of the island.
It's coming back. You're seeing evidence of growth, and we're seeing regrowth and resilience. Just like how Grand Bahama is bouncing back after the storm, it's evidence right here behind us at Dover Sound. And really, we could not do it by ourselves. We could not do it by ourselves. So when I say powered by the community, the students, teachers, like anyone that is willing to volunteer at the nursery and out planning, we welcome them to come in. And in 2025, we've seen record numbers of volunteers come in and get their feet wet and in the mud, really contributing to the restoration of these mangroves and these ecosystems.
But the record-breaking numbers didn't just stop at the volunteers.
We've had record numbers in collections, and we've had record numbers in outplantings. So we're seeing more and more of that happening. So from a goal of getting about 20,000, and we've seen that grow and grow over the years, to now we're up to like maybe 45,000 propagules collected.
And with thousands of mangroves destroyed across Grand Bahama and Abaco, just how did the group manage to meet and exceed their replanting goals?
The nursery is at Conservation Cove. We really nurture and grow the propagules there, and then we take them out here. So it's really an education center as well. So we teach them about the process of growth, about getting their hands in the soil and really planting these propagules, which is the red mangrove seed, and teach them the whole process of nurturing. And then we take them a step further and bring them out here to experience what it is to put it in the soil in nature.
And as that once bare, dry, and broken down area now transforms into lush green, growing mangroves, preparing to protect our shores against future natural disasters, Hunt explains that feeling of success.
It feels great to see that what we're doing is actually bearing fruit. It's growing. We're seeing it in live and in real time. And so now to come out here in 2025, right now, and to see the little shrubs that we planted in 2023 thriving, it gives me goosebumps.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Megan Shepard.
Coming up in sports, the Sixers' momentum from the road didn't quite carry over once they got back to Philly, but VJ set another milestone. An update from college hoops, and where in the world is Lennox Lockhart racing under the Bahamian flag this week?
It's more than a podcast. It's a movement. This is Breaking the Silence with Junior Clovis, where conversations we avoid finally have a place to breathe. Every story, every struggle, every breakthrough is brought to light, unfiltered and unspoken until now. Join us this Sunday at 2 p.m. as we confront the topics that matter, share real experiences, and change the conversation around mental health together. Watch, listen, break the silence.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having Business in a Box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
Conflict doesn't have to end in chaos. Before it escalates, take a breath. Step back. Choose peace. Listen to understand. Respectful conversations lead to real solutions. I am Sergeant 3599 Johnson of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, urging you, let's talk it out, not fight it out.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. Whenever the Philadelphia 76ers find themselves in one-score games, BJ Edgecombe finds a way to deliver a clutch performance. He just needed the rest to do their job in that final possession, and this is a completely different lead. Edgecombe finished with 17 points, 8 rebounds, and a career-high 9 assists, but the 76ers win streak ended at 3 with a 125-124 loss to the Denver Nuggets last night at the Xfinity Mobile Arena in Philly. After going scoreless in the first half, Edgecombe made his biggest impact when the game was on the line. He knocked down a clutch 3 late in regulation to help force overtime and keep the Sixers alive. There was also the assist to Tyrese Maxey for the game-tying score, and Edgecombe's dunk late in overtime was the last lead for the Sixers. He also had 2 steals and 2 blocks on the night as his defensive activity and playmaking stood out down the stretch, and it certainly looks like the rookie is taking on increased responsibility in crunch time. Philly is back in action Wednesday night when they host the Washington Wizards. In college hoops, Coach Yo and Ole Miss nearly took down the second-ranked team in the nation, while Frederick King's dominance up front has Murray State streaking. January just started and we have SEC thrillers already. Ole Miss cut a deficit from 19 points to just 3 in the fourth quarter and nearly completed an improbable rally, but the second-ranked Texas Longhorns held on for a 67-64 win. 13th-ranked Ole Miss now heads to face 8th-ranked Oklahoma Thursday night for another chapter in the Red River rivalry. King continued his impactful season for Murray State, keeping his name at the top of the Racers stat sheet during their 9-game win streak. He finished with 11 points and 8 rebounds in a win over Bradley to follow up his New Year's Day performance where he went for 18 points and a career-high 16 boards. The Racers are 13-3, 5-0 in Missouri Valley Conference play. If he's not the busiest kid on the planet, he's pretty close. Lennox Lockhart is back on the karting circuit in Spain and is faced with one of the biggest opportunities of his young career. Lockhart is set to represent the Bahamas in his first international race of the season in Campillos, Malaga, Spain, on a championship-level track fully approved by the governing bodies both for motorsports and karting. He not only faces world-class competition, but will also race in front of several high-ranking FIA officials and Formula One driver development managers who have been watching his progress over the past few seasons. Lockhart continues to build his karting resume, and the event could be integral in the pipeline towards a career in motorsports. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. You've got about a week left for NBA All-Star voting. You know the drill. Head to NBA.com and get it right. Also, being biased doesn't make you wrong. It was absolutely a foul on that last possession last night, and we were robbed of another moment. I had the lead written and everything. Back to the studio.
And still on the way, Greg is back with a look at how things are shaping up for the rest of the week in your extended weather forecast. And then create a Bahamas that you are proud of. That's part of the annual charge to police given this weekend at their annual prayer service. We'll tell you what else was said when we come back from the break.
Do you think you know domestic violence? Think again. It is not just physical, emotional, financial, or sexual abuse, and it doesn't discriminate. If you feel intimidated, harassed, or manipulated, you're not alone. The Bahamas Crisis Center and the Domestic Violence Task Force are here. I am Sergeant 3992 Tamika Neely. Let's break the silence on domestic violence. Let's create safer communities.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS Bulk.
This is our news. Welcome back. High pressure in charge of the surface and aloft. That's going to continue to keep us with a warming trend throughout the remainder of the week. We have two boundaries near the northwest and central and the central and southeast Bahamas. First one right off the coast of East Florida and the Grand Bahama area, sparking a few showers. Most of the activity will pull to the north and away from us. Then we have this other weak boundary, the remnants of a front hanging through the central and southeast Bahamas, also sparking a few showers. Both boundaries will eventually dissipate. That high pressure will remain in charge, but that high is going to slide out towards the east, and that will turn our winds more towards the southeast to south, bringing us some Atlantic moisture across our area. So we could see 1 or 2 spotty showers throughout the remainder of the week, but we do expect another front to be getting in here sometime by the end of the weekend into early next week. Future forecast showing the moisture with that boundary to the north. Most of the activity will pull towards the north and away from Grand Bahama. A couple of isolated showers in that east to southeasterly flow will approach the Bahamas, but not much will make it through us. Just a spotty shower or two expected throughout the period. Boating forecast, caution flag for the Atlantic once again, and the risk of rip currents still exists there. East to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet, but they will be building up to 6 feet along Atlantic exposures and some north to northeasterly swells. High tide is at 10:18 tonight. Low tide takes place at 4:25 in the morning. Southeast Bahamas, caution flag down there as well. Winds a little stiffer, but mainly out of the east at 15 to 20 knots. 4 to 7 foot seas expected, mostly in the Atlantic. Those northeasterly swells will continue. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, beautiful conditions with the hit and miss shower passing through us through the remainder of the week, but sunny conditions throughout most of the time. High pressure will strengthen by Thursday, Friday, so we can put some breezy conditions in there, but temperatures will stay near the 80-degree mark during the day, 70 degrees during the night. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
And finally, police continuing a decades-old tradition over the weekend with their annual police service on Sunday. A first this year, though, the day began with a memorial service at the police headquarters in honor of the officers who passed away in the line of duty in the past year. Then it was on parade down Bay Street to Christ Church Cathedral for their annual service. You see there on the screen. Delivering the afternoon sermon was Dean and Rector of Christ Church Cathedral, the very Reverend Dwight Roll, who reminded the officers that they are not a part of the organization by happenstance, and their work serves to shape the nation.
Further, it is through your hard work, it is through your diligence that we wish to create a Bahamas that we can be proud of. A Bahamas where safety is paramount, not only for this generation, but also safe for the generations to come.
Well, the officers were joined in service by Governor General Dame Cynthia Pratt, Prime Minister Philip Davis, and the Minister of National Security Wayne Munro, along with members of the diplomatic corps and clergy. Other law enforcement agencies were also represented. The Dean issued this charge referencing a well-known verse from the Good Book.
The Apostle Paul, in his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 8 and verse 21, helps to bring this to the fore. For we aim at what is honorable, not only in God's sight, but also in the sight of men. This portion of Scripture emphasizes the true Christian integrity requires transparency, moral excellence, and conduct that pleases God and earns respect from others.
Well, some good words to hold on to there. We aim at what is honorable not only in God's sight, but also in the sight of man. Some good words to think on as we wrap up tonight. That's going to do it for our news this evening. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Jerome Sawyer. Thank you so much for watching tonight. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Until then, you have yourself a wonderful evening.